Hi everyone, I'm Miss Katie from Rockland Public Library and welcome to Wednesday Read Alouds. You may notice that I'm in a different location and that's because the children's area is getting painted today. So if you stop by the library, you might even get to see some construction equipment over here working at stuff. Now it's a very special week this week because it's our first week working together with the Center of Maine Contemporary Arts. So we have picked a story and they have picked an art project to go along with it. And we'll have a couple of other story times and art projects throughout the summer to go together. So today's book is A Camping Spree with Mr. Magee. And this is by Chris Van Dusen, one of my all-time favorite authors and illustrators. And he just so happens to be a Maine author and illustrator too. And I will also link below the craft that the CMCA has made so that you can make your very own trailer to go along with the story. Let's see what happens in A Camping Spree with Mr. Magee. Early one morning at 7:03, Mr. Magee and his little dog Dee packed up the camper and hitched up a load, hopped in the Rambler and then hit the road. They drove to the mountains far from the sea for 2 nights of camping, or possibly 3. Here he is. And if you look at this illustration here, it even looks a little bit like Camden. Can you see the church, downtown Camden right there? It's because our fabulous Chris Van Dusen is a local author and illustrator. Very cool. "There's nothing like camping," said Mr. Magee. "I know you will like it, just you wait and see. The views are fantastic. There's hardly a sound. Aside from the wildlife, there's no one around. The air is so sweet, you'll sleep like a log," said Mr. Magee to his small spotted dog. A few hours later, they took a sharp right and found a great spot to lay camp for the night. It was high on a hill with a beautiful view of Mount Adams, Mount Lincoln, and Jefferson too. But perhaps the most wonderful feature of all was the brook that ran over a steep waterfall. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Do you see any animals too? I think I see someone hiding in the trees. As the embers went out, oops, I think I skipped a page. Oh no, I skipped a little bit right here. Dee gathered pine cones and branches and logs. Magee made a campfire and cooked some hot dogs. And as the sun set behind far distant knolls, they sat roasting marshmallows over the coals. As the embers went out, they felt tired and dozy, so they climbed in their bunk beds all comfy and cozy. But while they were falling asleep without care, along came a stumbling, bumbling bear. A kindly old bear whose sight wasn't so clear. He couldn't see far and he couldn't see near, but he could smell marshmallows, sticky and sweet. This smell made him hungry. He wanted a treat. He sniffed out the place where the marshmallows lay, but the car and the camper were in the bear's way. Yet that didn't stop that sneaky old snitch. He simply tried squeezing right under the hitch. And as he was shimmying into the gap, he pushed up the hitch, which let go of the snap. Uh-oh. Now that camper and car were untied, they started to roll down the rocky hillside. The car bounced away on an old logging road while the camper was headed to where the stream flowed. Oh no. It flew down the hill in a wild bumpy ride with Dee and Magee sleeping soundly inside. Wake up, wake up. And there goes the car. They were snoring and snoozing, enjoying a dream, when splash went the camper right into the stream. The splash shook the camper. They bumped out of bed. "Now what in the world was that?" Magee said. And when he looked out and saw where they were, his hair stood on end, and so did Dee's fur. They were caught in the rapids, but that wasn't all. They were headed smack dab for the big waterfall. Dee and Magee both started to quiver as faster and faster they headed down river. But just when they thought they'd fall over the edge, the camper got stuck on a rock on the ledge. So there they were, stranded, Magee and his pup, on top of a waterfall 50 feet up. Oh no! Meanwhile, that nearsighted bear from before was first searching for one little marshmallow more, when lo and behold, as if out of a dream, he spied something sweet floating over the stream. But what the bear thought was a marshmallow treat was really the hitch and not something to eat. That silly bear. The bear was determined to capture his prize, so he jumped in the water right up to his thighs. He splashed through the stream to the edge of the fall and snatched up the trailer hitch, camper and all. Dee felt a tug, Magee heard a knock as the bear pulled the camper right off of the rock. He dragged them both all the way back to the bank when he realized the hitch was not sweet, but quite rank. Ugh. He spit out the hitch and left in dismay while Magee and Dee's camper again rolled away. It flew down the path with a jolt and a jar and stopped in some bushes right next to the car. Dee popped his head out. Magee looked out too. Had they really stopped rolling? Could it be true? Had they, at last things were quiet and peaceful and still. They hooked up the hitch and they drove down the hill. And on the way home, Magee said to Dee, "That trip wasn't quite what I thought it would be." So when they got home, with the sky turning red, they decided to camp in the backyard instead. The end. Have you ever camped in the backyard? I know I did with my brother growing up. It's a good alternative to going out, and there are a few less bears out there too. The end. I hoped you liked the story of a camping spree with Mr. Magee, and if you did, there's also some other other adventures with Mr. Magee and his little dog Dee for you to check out by Chris Van Dusen. And don't forget, I'll link below the craft to go along with this that the CMCA made for us. So enjoy the story and enjoy a craft too. Have a great day, and I can't wait to see you next week. Bye-bye.